It's a musical called Maybe Happy Ending, and if that title leaves you guessing about the storyline, there's no doubt the show itself is getting its due. It's the winner of 6 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Senior arts correspondent Jeffrey Brown has a look for our arts and culture series, Canvas.
Then I start my day.
Oliver leads a fairly routine life. Listening to his jazz records, tidying up day after day, year after year, in his one small room in a retirement home.
I choose a book and I read.
But we're in the near future, and Oliver is a robot, a now obsolete model living out his time. Replacement parts are no longer being made. So he's different from you and me, right?
I think one of the most beautiful sentiments of the show is the way that love makes things alive. Love makes things, quote unquote, human, but I'll use the term alive.
Never fly away.
Darren Criss won a Tony for his portrayal of Oliver in what easily qualifies as this year's version of the little show that could, Maybe Happy Ending.
We've written 4 shows together now.
Composer Will Aronson also won Tonys with his Korean song and book writing partner Hugh Park.
Thank you so much for supporting us for this 9-year journey.
And credits Park for the original idea.
Well, luckily he didn't say to me, let's write a musical about robots in love. Because I think, like everyone else, that might not sound like the best pitch. He said, oh, I have an image for you. It's this lonely robot playing trombone in this basement parking garage late at night when no one's around. That was the image he came to me with. Way better pitch.
And you thought?
And I thought, this is really exciting.
When you're in love, you are the loneliest.
To be sure, the 2 lifelike machines at the heart of the story, Oliver and Claire, played by Helen J. Shen, who lives across the hall, do find their way toward love.
An unfamiliar sky.
But as older model helper bots built to serve humans, they're no longer of use to their former owners, and their hard drives holding memories are wearing down.
Now light the fire, dear Oliver.
In Oliver's case, memories of his owner, James, played by Marcus Choi, whom Oliver thinks of in human terms as his best, make that only friend.
This is where you belong.
For anyone in the audience contemplating his or her own battery life and who will be there for us in the end, it's not hard to connect.
Which is exactly where I want to get you. So by the time we actually do become more human, you are now more dilated to the idea of like, oh my God, maybe we are the same kind of person, which is what I think art can do at its highest level, or at least that's our goal.
You just did the motion that switches back and forth.
Exactly.
Between, right?
There's a stark physicality that is supposed to feel not human, but through the course of the show, as more human things are presented to this person,
like love and relationships,
or the idea of obsolescence, or how one can be resilient or fearful of that, and how you choose to cope with that idea. This turns into sort of a softening of that physicality into something perhaps more human-like.
Now we're ready to spill the beans.
In addition to Criss and Shen, there's an old-style crooner played by Des Duran,
And it's time to new.
who regularly appears, evoking Oliver and his owner's love of jazz in an earlier life.
Thank you to all the helper bots.
Director Michael Arden and scenic designers Dane Laffrey and George Reeve all won Tonys for the production and stagecraft that includes a sliding panel set that keeps a relatively quiet story continually on the move.
Today the smiles too are warmer than the norm.
The music itself avoids the big and brash numbers, at times over the top, of many of today's Broadway musicals.
We love to come to a show or any work of art where we feel like a world is being created.
Yeah.
And certainly the approach to the acting, the approach to the directing, the physical staging, all of these are so unique. I mean, you haven't seen these things before, and I think we also wanted a musical world that was a little different. I think so you come out remembering the world of it. You know, it carves out a little space in your brain, maybe.
But even so, Maybe Happy Ending nearly crash-landed early on, facing delays in development, including from the pandemic, and a very slow box office as it began its Broadway run. As producers found it hard to market a show like this, even its name was confusing to many.
Hugh and I had to leave for Korea for a different show right after opening night, literally the next morning. And we had such an amazing
Got out
time.
of town. They ran for the border.
This was pre-planned. We weren't
It's like the producers.
drop it and go.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah,
That's great.
no. We had to. We didn't want to, but we had this really emotional goodbye with everyone because we thought we'll be back in 2 months. I mean, many shows close in the first 2 months, so we didn't know that we would see everyone again.
And the Tony Award goes to Maybe Happy Ending.
They certainly would see one another again, including on the biggest Broadway stage, the Tonys. But, says Chris,
the Tonys were not on the itinerary. That's not why we're here. That's not why I said yes to this show, why I wanted to do the show.
It's not something you can plan on.
It's not something, and if you do, that's probably a surefire way to really disappoint
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. So why do you do what you do?
Well, I feel
We
like
don't know how to do anything else, man.
exactly. No, but
It's the way that it always was.
and now they do have a big hit, a happy ending for sure. And Darren Criss has his own personal dream for the show.
Decades from now, I'll be in some random place, some city that I've never been to. Somebody says, hey, you know, we're actually doing Maybe Happy Ending at the local whatever. It's community theater, high school theater. Would you come? And I go, you know what, yeah, I'd love to. And I go, and it's not a great production. I'll be like, we made it. We did it. You know why? Because that means this show would have punctured the cultural zeitgeist enough to where everybody is doing it.
Yeah. Done with love.
Done
though.
with love.
Yeah.
And enough people will see it that will be inspired, or people that are in it that will be inspired to maybe work on Broadway one day. So when you say Maybe Happy Ending, I do go, it's Maybe Happy Beginning yet again.
You know you're stronger than you think.
That beginning continues on Broadway and starting next year with a North American tour. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown in New York.
Sitting by your side on a sunny day. When you're in love.